So when I am using the add bone tool, if I just click, instead of dragging, I just click, I can create these new pin bones. Okay. So you can also use these pin bones with the meshes, and they were designed to work together with the meshes, but they also work by themselves. So now I can just animate that and distort this. So it is a very fun to use feature, and it is also useful. I mean, I am making a very silly face here, but you can use that for serious projects too. So the good thing is you can move these pin bones, and you can also rotate them, and you can also scale them. So maybe if I want bigger eyes here, I can do that. Okay, and maybe smaller ears. I don't know. So now we have this, and of course that is all animated. So you can create some funny stuff with this, but some other users are creating more serious stuff using the pin bones. You can check. There is one video in YouTube uploaded by Funksmaname. The user Funksmaname, and he uses pin bones for different stuff. I personally like the idea of having a target bone, so I will create a simple legs here. So normally when you created a target bone, you made a bone like this, but now we can simply create a pin bone here and a pin bone here. So now you have a nicer rig with target bones. So it is easier to read. So there are several different techniques you can apply with pin bones, and they are very, very powerful. And if you are creative with them, you can create some very nice rigs. There are many features. I am trying to cover all of them. Probably I won't be able, but that's why I am trying to go quick. I hope it is clear enough. We have a new motion blur option too. You probably have seen this, and this is one of the features that people has been asking for long. So in the past we had an effect called motion blur, but it wasn't really a motion blur effect. And now we have something we call realistic motion blur. So I have this very simple example with a ball bouncing. Okay, so I can simply go to the layer properties of this bone, of this image, or of this layer, and I can go to motion blur, and if I activate motion blur and subframe motion blur here, I have some options here. Okay, I will apply just the options I have. So now when I render, you can see, well, I hope you will be able to see this, but you can see there is a realistic motion blur applied to that. So we have some options about how many frames we want to repeat, or how many frames we want to show during the motion blur, the percentage applied to that frame. So maybe if I put 100%, the motion blur will be longer. I don't know if that is noticeable, but it is longer too. And we can also apply extended frames. So maybe if I want to extend this motion blur in 20 frames, when I render this, okay, it is taking some time. Okay, maybe 20 was too much. I don't know if you are able to see this, but there is a little green color happening here. Okay, there is it. So we have the ball and we have the extended frames happening here. So you can create something like a trail for the ball movement. Okay, so I will go back to 0 here and to 50 here. Okay, and now to show you this in movement, I have already this rendered. I don't know if you will be able to see this, but You can see we have the realistic motion blur applied over the ball. Okay, so you can apply that to any layer, and it can be a bone layer of a character, so you can apply motion blur to a character. And yeah, it is very powerful, and you have several options for that. I will close this. Okay, another cool feature coming with MOHO 12 is that we can export and import actions. So I want to show you that I have the crocodile again. Okay, this is a simpler version of the crocodile, and I created a work cycle for it. So again, it is very simple. I just want to use this as example. Okay, and I saved this work cycle as an action. So if I open the actions window, I have this snap work here. This character is called snap. So I have the action with that work cycle. So I have that saved as an action. This is normal Anime Studio behavior, right? So now I will go back to the main line, and what is new here is that I can right click the action and export it. So I can choose where to save it. In this case, I will choose the folder. I will save this into my webinar folder. Okay, and you can see we have a new kind of file called MOHO action. So I save that. Okay, and now I can open another file here. Let me see. I have the robot here, and I can go again to the actions window and select import, and now I can import this action into my other character. So when I open the action, you can see it is not working at all, right? I mean, the character is working, but not in the way I want. So to fix that, we have a new option here. I will right click again the action window, and I can transform this action to relative. So when I do that, the software will automatically check the real shape of this new character and what will apply the action to that shape or that size of the character. So when I do that, now I have my character working in the way I want. Of course, since the characters are very different, I will have to make some adjustments, but the thing is you can share different actions between characters. Now, it is not magic. So to do this, you need to follow some rules, and these are not hard to follow rules, but the names of the bones or the names of the main structure of the bones need to be the same. So for instance, if I select this bone, you can see this bone is called belly. Maybe that is not the right name, but I call it belly. So I have belly, head, arm left, forearm left, hand, and so on. So if I repeat this same structure into the other character, so again, if I go back to my robot here and I select, I have belly, arm left, and all the bones, or at least the main bones, have the same name. So that way the software knows how to apply this this action to the new character. So it is very powerful, and if you are working with a team or you are working in a bigger project, you can create something like your base rig character and then create actions for that base and share that with all the other characters. So it is very, very powerful to use, and you can have a library of actions. And related to the library, we have a new library too, so I want to show you this now. If we go to the library button here, we have a totally new library, and it is totally remade. In the past, the library was made using a web base, like a web page base, but now it is totally remade, and it is made inside of the software, so we don't need to have web pages anymore, and that makes the library much more powerful. We have several options for the library. For instance, we have a search, a very powerful search filter, and we can filter by name, frame rate, tag, and many other options. We can also, let me expand this here, we can add our own folders to the library, and that folders will be added in a relative way. So that means that I can share folders, or I can use the same folder in different computers, even when that folder is not exactly in the same place in different computers. So if you are working in a network, or if you are working using Dropbox with different people, you can share the folders with no problems, or you can take the folder in a pen drive and continue working somewhere else, or maybe change the name of the folder. You can do all that stuff, and the relation will still be there in the library. Also, if we open a file, we can add tags here and comments and many different information. So if you are working in bigger teams, you can add all this information and share that. So for instance, you can tell when some animation is completed or when it is work in progress yet, and you can share all that. And another cool thing about this, it is all this information is saved as an XMP file, and that means that you can read that file from other software. So for instance, if you are in a large team and you are using Shotgun, you could set up your workflow so Shotgun will be able to read and also to write over that files. So the idea here is we want to have a more powerful team-based workflow, and also compatibility with different software. So it is a much powerful library, and there are many other options here. One of the cool options here, we have the open document assets here. So it will show me every file I have open right now, and it shows me the assets that files are using. So for instance, the crocodile is using a PSD file, okay, and the character, the render character, the robot, is using the action, the MOHO action, so the walk cycle action. So we have control over every asset that file is using. So all this is focused on work better in larger project and to keep track of everything you are doing, and finally to work quicker. That's the final idea here.